My name is Daniel Wynn, and by day I invest in sports cards, but by night I make videos about investing in sports cards. I am the great curator. Join me on my journey to break even in the hobby that we all love.
Hello everyone, I am the Great Curator and welcome to my channel. Today's going to be a continuation of the series of videos that I'm going to be putting out, what I like to call Sports Card Collecting, Sports Card Investing 101. It's basically a series of videos that are designed to help educate people just kind of getting into the hobby, getting into the market, what to do when just starting out and what to do if you run into problems, or how to avoid some of the typical problems that we all have dealt with when we first started off. So today's topic is going to be talking about what to do if you are underwater on your cards. Okay. But before we get into that, please, if you're here and you like my content, please hit the like button. Please subscribe. This helps give me feedback. This helps encourage me to continue to make these videos. And I promise the more feedback I get, the more likes, the more subscriptions, I will put more effort into improving the quality of the content of these videos and work to help give back as much as I can to the community. Okay, so with that being said, let's talk about this today's topic of what to do if your cards are underwater. So first of all, if you're not familiar with that term, what I mean by that is basically if your cards are worth less than what you paid for. So for example, I'm going to use this card right here. This is a 1996 Kobe Bryant Topps PSA 9 rookie card. At one point earlier this year, this card was all the way up to $1,800, and it hovered around $1,500 to really $1,000 for the better part of the early year before it dropped after his Hall of Fame ceremony. Okay. I can talk about how cards are impacted by the market and what causes price fluctuations to go up and down in a different video, but basically where this card is today is about $400. Okay, between $400 to $500 is where it hovers now, but it used to be earlier this year, just a few months ago, in that $1,000 range. So you imagine if you were one of the people that invested in this card, and I was one of those people that purchased this when it was like around that $1,000 range. Now this card is worth about $400. So what do you do? Okay, and this is a common problem that a lot of people face is they buy cards, they're not familiar with how the market fluctuates, and suddenly their card is worth a lot less than what they paid for it. Okay, and they panic. All right, so the first thing that I want to tell you guys, the first strategy that you can employ is, number one, understand that the card market fluctuates. It goes up and down, up and down. It never goes up all the time, and it never goes down all the time. It goes up and down, ebbs and flows, just like any other asset class, just like any other market, just like stocks, bonds, real estate, everything like that, right? So the first thing that you have to understand is that if you get into this game, and your cards become underwater, do not panic. Do not panic sell. All right. There are a lot of people that will take advantage of panic sellers by buying cards that are undervalued, or they'll give less than what the comps are going for. Do not be one of those people that falls victim to that. All right. Cards never go to zero. They're not like a company that will go out of business and then the stock is worthless. Cards will never go to zero. I've never seen a card go to zero before. They go up and down with the market, okay? So even though this card is $400 today, it could very well go up in the future. It could be a $600 card. It could be a $700 card. Who knows, okay? But the chances of this going to zero, it's probably not going to happen. So you don't need to panic sell because you think you're going to lose all your money. Now, if you want to sell because you're down a little bit and you want to kind of mitigate your losses, that's a different story. That's a different strategy. Okay. I don't do that myself. I like to think that I never take a loss because I never sell. I never purposely sell to take a loss because I just don't panic like that. I employ different strategies to kind of mitigate any type of potential loss that I may take, but I never panic sell because I think the card is going to go to zero. Okay, so first things first, if you take anything away from this video, do not panic sell. All right, understand that the market goes up and down, and you can do other things. You can employ other strategies to help mitigate that loss or get yourself out of a situation where your cards are underwater. Okay, so now I know what you're asking yourself. Okay, well, stop saying the word mitigate for number one, but secondly, what do you do? What do you do if your cards are underwater? Okay, this is where I'm going to give you guys my tips on things that I've done because I made these same mistakes myself when I first started off. A lot of the cards that I bought became underwater, and I had to pivot my strategy a little bit to kind of get myself out of the situation. So these are things that I employ that work for me, okay? Tip number one is the easiest thing to do is basically you wait it out, right? So if you are a long-term investor and you're buying cards because you think they have long-term value, then you can easily just be patient and just wait out the market. Like I told you before, the market goes up and down, up and down, up and down. So when the market's down, all you have to do is just wait for it to go back up. Now the problem with that is you don't know when that's going to happen, okay? And if you don't have the patience to wait on it, then you're going to become impatient with it. But historically, if you look, the prices always go up and down, up and down. So just like any type of investments, whether it's stocks or bonds or anything like that, you just wait for the right moment. You pick your moment when you sell, okay? So this card may be $400 today. Maybe it goes up to $1,500 again in the future, a year from now, 2 years from now. Who knows, all right? But if you're patient, that's the first tactic that you can employ. Basically, just wait for the market to recover, okay? Tip two, if the market is low, you can buy more of the same card to lower your cost basis. So if I had bought this card when it was $1,000 and today it's $400, maybe I buy another one or two more or three more, and I lower my cost basis from $1,000 to whatever the average is. Maybe I can get the cost basis to be $600, $500, okay, depending on the price. And that will help me recover my money quicker. So when the card goes up in value, I don't have to wait for it to go up to the original purchase price of $1,000. If it goes up to $500 or $600, then I can either at least break even, or I can mitigate the amount of loss that I'm willing to take on that card. Okay, so that is step two. Try to buy more to lower your cost basis. And this is a very common example of what a lot of people do with stocks. For example, like if Apple stock, if you bought it at $200 and it goes down to $150. You're not going to sell it at $150. You're going to buy more and lower that cost basis because you see this as a valuable asset. So think about that the same way with cards, okay? You can always buy more cards if you believe in the card, you believe that will increase in value, and you can lower your cost basis. So tip number three, going off of tip number two, if you believe in the card, you can buy more, lower the cost basis. But let's just say you don't believe in the card, okay? Let's just say that this is a rookie of some guy that didn't pan out, and you don't want to hold it. It makes you sick to your stomach every time you look at it. So what do? Okay? Instead of buying more, what you can do is, if you lose the faith in the card, you don't think it's going to appreciate in value, you can make a lateral move. You can trade this card for something of equal value that you do believe in, okay? So for example, let's just say that I think that Kobe Bryant rookie cards are just oversaturated. They're never going to go up in value, and I just don't want to hold on it. I'm sick of looking at it. So what I can do is I can trade it for a card of equal value. So maybe this card here of this Kobe LeBron face-to-face challenge, okay, which I believe is rare. It has LeBron on it, and this will have a chance to increase in value a lot quicker than this one. So even though I'm doing a lateral trade where I'm trading a $400 card for another $400 card, maybe I believe that this card will have a higher chance to appreciate in value quicker than this card. Maybe this will be a $1,000 card a lot quicker than this one, okay? So I'm basically just making a lateral move for another card that I believe in. And this not only does it get me excited, okay, but it refreshes my inventory, and it keeps encouraging me to stay in the hobby, okay? So that is step number three. Make a lateral trade out of the card that you lost faith in into a card that you believe in, and then maybe you take your chances that lateral move will increase in value a lot quicker, okay? Tip number four, if you can't make a lateral move and you can't sell the card for the value that you want, consider doing a cash trade deal. This is where you get part of your cash back, and maybe you trade for a card again that you believe in, okay? So, just using this as another example, let's just say the value of this card, this Kobe LeBron face-to-face is $250 value. Maybe I do a cash trade where I get $200 for this card plus this card. So I get $200 of my initial investment back, and then I just have to wait for this card to improve in value. Maybe this card goes to $500, and then I can make my value up that way, okay? So again, you don't have to do a one-for-one trade all the time. You can do a cash trade deal where you get part of your cash back, and then you get another card that you believe in, and hopefully that card will appreciate in value, and you don't have to make up the entire difference because you already got part of that cash back, all right? Tip number 5 is, instead of trying to get rid of this card or trying to do something with this card, try putting it to the side, okay? Don't depend entirely on a card that is already underwater. Put this set aside, reset your inventory by investing in other cards, like this card, for example, at today's current market price. So you may have bought this at the height of the market back in February, and the card prices just are not the same here in August, right? So put this card away, reset your inventory by by investing in other cards at today's prices, make your margin on those cards, okay? And then over time, maybe you can average out the loss on this, all right? So let's just say that I bought this card at today's market value, and it's like a $500 card, and maybe I'm able to sell this card in a month at $600, $650. I reset my inventory, I made my profit on today's current prices, all right? And then I can just average out the loss on this one or mitigate it entirely, okay? Or maybe I get lucky, and because I waited, the cost basis or the cost on this, the market goes up on this one, all right? So that is another option that you can do, is basically reset your inventory. Don't worry, don't focus on the cards that are underwater. Just put those to the side, get new cards, okay? Invest in new cards at today's current prices. Learn from your lessons the first time. Make your margin up on that second batch of cards, that second batch of inventory, okay? And then average out the losses on the other end, all right? So again, just to recap, a couple tips that you can do if you are underwater on your cards. Number one, most important, this is not even a tip, just the most important thing is don't panic sell, all right? Be calm, understand that this is a market that goes up and down. Do not panic sell, okay? Tip number 1, wait out the market. Tip number 2, buy more of the same card to lower the cost basis. Tip number 3, if you lose faith in the card, do a lateral move, trade it for another card that you can be excited about of the same value that you hope can appreciate quicker than the old card that you got rid of. Tip number 4, do a cash trade deal where you trade and you get part of your cash back. Okay, so at least you recover some cash, trade for another card that you believe in that will also appreciate in value, and then you can make it up on the back end. And then tip number 5, put those underwater cards to the side. Don't think about them, don't look at them. Reset your inventory, buy new cards at today's value, learn from your mistakes, make up the margin on the new inventory, and then that will average out the losses on the backside. Okay? So that's all the tips that I have for you guys today for if you find yourself underwater on some of your cards. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, please leave some comments. I'll read all the comments that you guys leave. Please, any suggestions on how to improve these videos, I'd love to hear it too. If you found it useful, please share, please like, please subscribe. Again, that type of feedback encourages me to make more videos like this. I'm going to try to put out as many videos as I can on a weekly basis. If you have any follow-up questions, feel free to follow me on Instagram at The Great Curator. DM me. I love chatting with people from the hobby. So if you have any questions you want to just send my way, no problem. I'll do my best to answer them. And other than that, thank you guys for watching. See you next time.